Welcome to Rays of Hope, where inspiration meets possibilities. Join us on this journey as we explore videos that illuminate the path to positivity, resilience, and success. Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop, having the same argument over and over with no resolution? It's frustrating when discussions go nowhere and leave everyone feeling unheard. You're not alone if you've experienced this cycle of unproductive talks. These types of arguments aren't just annoying. They can harm relationships and stop real progress. This guide is for anyone ready to exit that loop. We'll share clear, effective ways to break free and build a foundation for healthier discussions. Identifying the roots of repetitive arguments. Repetitive arguments often feel like being stuck in a maze. You keep hitting the same walls, saying the same things, and getting nowhere. Understanding why these arguments keep happening is the first step to finding your way out. It's not just about what you're arguing about but what's truly driving the disagreement. Let's look at some common underlying causes. Unmet needs and expectations. Many recurring conflicts spring from needs that aren't being met or from unspoken expectations. When we don't feel heard, appreciated, or secure, these feelings can bubble up as frustration during a disagreement. Think about it. If you constantly feel undervalued at home, a tiny comment about chores can quickly escalate into a much larger argument about respect. Common unmet needs often include feeling heard and understood. Do you feel like your concerns are truly listened to? Appreciation and recognition. Is your effort acknowledged, or do you feel taken for granted? Security and stability. Do you feel safe to express yourself without judgment? Autonomy and control. Do you have enough say in decisions that affect you? Unrealistic expectations also play a part. We might expect others to always know what we need without us saying it, or to react in a specific way every time. When these expectations aren't met, the same arguments resurface, often with even more intensity. Communication breakdowns and poor listening habits. Ineffective communication is a major culprit in repetitive arguments. It's tough to move forward when people aren't truly connecting. Have you ever noticed how quickly a discussion can derail when someone interrupts, gets defensive, or tries to guess what the other person is thinking? These habits prevent real understanding. Without active listening, you're not absorbing what the other person says. Instead, you're likely preparing your next point or simply waiting for your turn to speak. This creates a cycle where both parties feel unheard and misunderstood, leading them back to the same argument time and again. Underlying emotional triggers and past wounds. Sometimes, an argument isn't just about the current topic. It's about something deeper. Unaddressed emotional baggage, old traumas, or deep-seated insecurities can act as triggers. A seemingly small comment can ignite a disproportionate reaction if it touches on a past wound. For example, a comment about finances might trigger anxiety for someone who experienced financial instability growing up. This isn't about avoiding these topics. It's about recognizing how past experiences influence current reactions. When we react from a place of old pain, it's hard to engage constructively in the present argument. Power imbalances and control dynamics. Arguments can also get stuck in a loop because of uneven power dynamics. If one person constantly tries to control the conversation or dictates the narrative, it can squash the other person's voice. This creates a feeling of resentment. When one person feels powerless or unheard, they might resist, leading to a constant cycle of push and pull. Attempts to control can show up in different ways, such as dismissing the other person's feelings or perspective. Always needing to win the argument. Blaming the other person constantly. Making decisions without input. This type of dynamic prevents genuine collaboration. Instead, it fosters a loop where one person tries to assert control, and the other person resists, leading to the same unresolved conflicts reappearing. Strategies for breaking the cycle of unproductive arguments. Once you identify the patterns and underlying causes of your repetitive arguments, the next step is to put effective strategies into practice. Breaking these cycles requires intentional effort and a willingness from everyone involved to try new approaches. It's about shifting from old habits to new, healthier ways of interacting. Practicing active and empathetic listening. True listening is more than just waiting for your turn to speak. It means fully focusing on what the other person says, both verbally and non-verbally. When you listen actively, you show respect and create an environment where the other person feels heard. This can change the whole tone of an argument. Here are some ways to practice active and empathetic listening. Reflective listening. Rephrase what you hear in your own words. For instance, you might say, "So, if I understand correctly, you're feeling frustrated because I didn't help with dinner last night." This confirms understanding and clarifies any misinterpretations. Asking clarifying questions. Instead of assuming, ask open-ended questions to get more information. Ask things like, "Can you tell me more about what upset you?" Or, "What does 'always late' mean to you in this situation?" Validating feelings. Acknowledge the other person's emotions without necessarily agreeing with their viewpoint. Simple phrases like, "I can see why you'd feel angry about that," or, "It makes sense that you're hurt," can go a long way in de-escalating tension. Validate the feeling, even if you disagree with the cause. Communicating needs and boundaries clearly. Unspoken needs and blurred boundaries often fuel recurring arguments. When you don't express what you need, others can't meet those needs. Similarly, unclear boundaries lead to misunderstandings and resentment. Being direct and clear helps prevent future conflicts before they even start. Consider these tips for clear communication. Using I statements. Focus on your feelings and experiences rather than blaming the other person. Instead of saying, "You always make me feel ignored," try, "I feel unheard when I'm interrupted during a discussion." This shifts the focus from accusation to personal experience. Expressing needs directly without blame. State what you need clearly and calmly. For example, instead of complaining about a messy house, say, "I need more help keeping the living room tidy. Would you be willing to take on vacuuming each week?" Establishing healthy boundaries. Define what is and isn't acceptable behavior or conversation during disagreements. You might say, "I need a 5-minute break if our voices start to rise," or, "Please don't bring up past mistakes when we're discussing new issues." Discuss these boundaries when you are both calm. Once you see the pattern, you can start to change it. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you for joining us on this uplifting journey with Rays of Hope. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos that spark hope and empowerment. Until next time, keep shining brightly. Thank you for watching.